There we go. Okay, so fun fact, if you mute if you mute yourself in your channel, the volume doesn't come through. So let's start this again. Hi everyone. How you doing? I'm doing much better now that you can hear me because I'm watching the little video or the volume thing going up and down and it's working. So this is drawingXpressions live on YouTube, and live means sometimes things don't go exactly the way you'd like them to, like muting yourself and not realizing it. So we can have some interactive types of things in the chat. We can have cats mysteriously appearing and disappearing in the chat or in the screen. We can have all of that and more. Hi, Celeste. Hi, Dr. Matt. Hi, Alicia. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad that you've made time for this. I'm so glad that you have made this period of time part of your creative journey today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, this being the first time that we're doing a live on YouTube, I feel it incumbent to cover a couple of things before we move into the more fun stuff of writing and illustrating and all that kind of stuff. So, first thing, there is a 15-second delay between me speaking and you hearing, which means that if you say there's no volume on the chat, I've been speaking for about 15 seconds with no volume before the chat even has a chance to show up. So things like that it's going to be part of it, and so the latency is going to be just a thing that we have to work around. The good thing with the latency is that we have closed captioning enabled, so you should be able to turn that on if you would like to have closed captioning. I don't know about you, but I am the kind of guy who I love the little words on the bottom of the TV screen whenever I'm watching TV. In case I miss something, the words are right there. Okay. So let's talk about the delay. I've talked about our moderators, and thank you so much, moderators. Very, very helpful for this process. Okay, the one thing that I want to impart upon everything that I do, there's a cat, everything that I do, we have rules and we have guidelines, and really the only firm rule is that there are no rules. There's really only guidelines, and guidelines, they're easier to bend, they're easier to break. I like guidelines far more than I like rules. So that's the theme going forward. Excuse me. Rules, not guidelines. And I've got a cat who wants to walk onto the keyboard. So that's okay. He's just going to get brushed aside. Okay. With all of that said, the last thing is there are going to be periods of time when we're working, and I'm going to be talking through process. And if you don't want to listen to me yammer and you want to work independently, please go ahead and turn your volume down, and I will call up a screen that says we're coming back. It'll be the stretch screen, very easy to recognize. You're going to see it in just a second. That says we're coming back, and you bring your volume back up. Otherwise, if you want to hear my internal thinking, my internal processes, leave the volume up and let me just yammer in your ear. Okay, so with that, I would like to do a bit of stretch and breathing. So here we go, the stretch and breathing screen. Okay, now, when I am doing a class or getting ready to write, I actually do a specific kind of breathing, and I have begun to associate the breathing to the writing. So it's like this little, mnemonic is the wrong word, but it's that little trigger that gets me to start thinking about actually putting pen to paper or fingers to keyboard. And it's what I call square breathing. And so we inhale for the count of, say, 5, and I like 5 because it's just easy to remember. So we inhale, and then we hold, and then we exhale, and then we hold. And then we clean it all up with a big breath in, and then with a sigh out. So let me invite you to do that with me. Okay, so here we go. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Big breath in. Hold for just a second. And now with the sigh. Good. And let's get those shoulders. Because writing, it's a physical activity. We're gonna get physical. Okay. So, the first thing I'd like to do in this writing class, there's going to be actually 2 parts. The first part is a little more of a planned section. It's our warm-up, where we're going to start from a single word and we're going to work it all the way through until we've got a story and an illustration to go along with the story. And so we'll do that, and then we'll take a quick breathe, stretch break. And then the second part is a little more informal, and the topic du jour is haiku. So I hope you'll be around for that as well. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, let me get my keyboard up and running. There we go. Now, what we do, and since again, I'm going to be treating this as if it's a first time for people, I'm just going to do a quick explanation. We start with a single word, and then we have a list of words that relate to the one immediately above or one above. So let me just scroll. I'm going to scroll real quick, and I'm going to take you to a sample list. So I started with the word I, and the reason I started with the word I is because I'm always there. I figure it's sort of the visual artist equivalent of like doing a portrait or like a picture of your hand, or whatever you normally have with you. Your foot apparently is also quite popular, and so we can start with I, and then the next word down was me. And me works nicely because it's the same word. It's the synonym. Me, and then I added at, so meet, and then I dropped the me entirely for at, and then attain, refrain, song, and all the way down. Now, as I get deeper into this, I have Mayan, which is now in the middle of the page. And the Maya were in Central America, and so I didn't want to have Central America on one line. I wanted to have on 2, because this is just a list of words. Okay, this is all we're doing. We're just generating a list of words. And then lastly, I brought it back from Central to Center, and then Center for the Performing Arts. Okay, yeah, and there was the hint of the haiku later on in the class. So. And how can words relate? And sorry, I am scrolling back up, I should have mentioned. We have, from the seed word, from I could have gone in a number of directions. You saw that I went with me because it's the synonym. I could have gone with the thing that sounds like I, the visual organ, or even AYE, which is the nautical term. Or I could have had it as the start of a saying, like I think, therefore I am. I could have written the entire saying down, I think, therefore I am, each on a separate line. I could have described what I saw, so like capital I, so I wrote capital. I is the first letter in icon. It's also tucked inside big. And then the last category, which is the biggest category of all, it is those list of words that do not relate to anything that have come before. And this is to prevent you from painting yourself into a corner and feeling like, oh my gosh, this just isn't going to work for me. I have come up with a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Where do I go from there? Well, zebra, because it doesn't relate at all. And that's perfectly fine. Remember, this is your list. No one's judging you. except you, so please don't judge. Okay, so what I would like to do is work through a seed word generation. I'm going to scroll again and again. I should have said I'm going to scroll, and let's get my keyboard operating. There we go. I'm just going to make myself some space. Give me 1 second. Okay, and we're going to scroll back up here. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, now, this being the first time that we are live on YouTube, why not, first time, why not start with 2 words? Why not? Because I can. And so I can pick first, I can pick time, I could pick them both. I'm going to go with first and then say, well, you know, second relates to first. Well, who's on first? What is on second? That old vaudeville act. I don't remember who it was that did it, but we'll go with what. What is a question? And from a question, we develop an answer. And answer. Yeah, for some reason the word swear wants to come out, so I will just put it, and we'll drop the S, and we'll have wear. And what do you wear? Well, you wear, I'm going to say clothes. And clothes as fabric. And fabric, rubric rhymes. And rubric comes with, it's associated with ideas. And ideas is associated with knowledge. And I'm just going to drop the no off, and I'll go with ledge. And then we have cliff. And cliff kind of sounds like an action-adventure name, so let's go with adventure. Okay, so I've just done my seed word germination. I started, I'm going to scroll, with first time, and now I've generated this list of words. And from this list of words, the only purpose of this list is for me to kind of go through and grab 3. 3 is a nice number of words to grab, because we're going to be putting them in a row. They're going to be prompts for our story. So let's see here. I am going to stick with, I'm going to scroll again, and I'm going to give myself some space. So I'm going to put in first. First is my first prompt, adventure. And get my word counter out of the way. And let's go with, let's go with answer. Yeah, answer. Okay, so the prompts have done their job, or the seed word germination has done its job, and it has given me my list of prompts. First, adventure, and answer. Now, these prompts are just words. Do we have to include them in the story that we're about to make using these prompts? No. This is just to kind of get your mind thinking in a certain direction. First, adventure, answer. It's not important that these show up. If you want to challenge yourself, try and put 1 in. Or 2 in. Or all of them in. And if you really, really, really want to challenge yourself, you're feeling like I'm ready to really take this one head on, put them in the order that you've typed them down. First, adventure, answer. Now it seems like, excuse me, hold on 1 second, I'm just gonna, it is the morning here in Thailand, and I know it is nighttime there, so this is the mug of iced coffee that was prepared by my lovely wife. So thank you so much. And Alicia just put into chat that her first 3 words are scream, fragile, and ear. And I hope that does not relate to the fact that she is sitting just outside the door and that she is hearing me. I'm not screaming, I don't think. Okay. what shall we do with first adventure and answer? Coffee is life. Okay, what we're going to do with the first adventure and answer. It seems very, very built in that we can just kind of go with the sort of an obvious thing of like my first adventure, I was looking for the answer to. And that is definitely a way we can go. I oftentimes will grab that first idea if I don't have a lot of time and just run with it. In a normal situation where I'm doing my microfiction, and again, well, not again, I haven't mentioned this yet, prolific microfictioner. I have, I don't know, 1,400 that I have written, and I write all the time. I like to sit with the ideas as well and maybe not go with the obvious ones. And so I come up with something that surprises myself. Given that this is live and given that you were watching me yammer on and on, let's just go with what has presented itself and go with the first adventure and answer. And of course, if it's a first adventure and someone's looking for an answer, maybe they're going to be a little bit hapless. They're going to be just like not quite sure what they're doing. Maybe the adventure is not going to be driving in a speeding race car down a crowded city street, or walking through a jungle that the closest human habitation is thousands of miles away. Maybe this is going to be a little more tame. And so let's kind of, I'm going to work with that idea. So an adventure doesn't have to be big and grand to the outside eyes. It can be big and grand to the person who's experiencing it. So what are we going to do? And so the picture that just came to my mind is, you ever seen those videos of the babies that, I guess baby toddler, where they're behind the baby gate and they're, maybe even like twins are famous for this, like the one will help the other scale up and over and get themselves over the baby gate. I'm kind of going with that. So I'm going to have twin babies, and this is going to be the first adventure, scaling the wall, looking for the answer, what's beyond that gate. Okay, so let's start with that. So we're going to have twins. What should we have as twin names? How about Timmy and Tommy? Really inventive names here. We can, and the thing here is, like, whatever you throw down onto the page, the idea right now is just to kind of get an idea down onto the page, and then you can come back later on and you can edit to your heart's content. So if Timmy and Tommy don't really work for you right now, that's okay, because you can change it later. Okay, so Timmy and Tommy. Stared out from behind the, let's see now here. This is going to be, so the gates themselves, they tend to have like the white sort of plastic crosses. And so when you're looking at that wall, it's from behind the white plastic wall with convenient eye holes. With convenient eye holes down the stare down the carpeted hall beyond. Okay, sort of setting up our adventure. We're staring from behind this fence. They want to go over the fence. They're staring at it. They'd done this for as long as they could remember, which also makes sense. Remember. But today was going to be the day that Timmy went. Today was going to be the day that Timmy would go on his first adventure. Whoops, let's get that spelled right. Keep in mind as well that if your spell check does not catch your spelling mistakes, it's okay, because you can go back and edit that too. And if you're writing longhand, it doesn't really matter, because there's not going to be the annoying little red curly thing underneath the word saying you've spelled this one wrong, in our opinion. Okay, today was going to be the day that Timmy would go on his first adventure. His quest, and let's have a kind of a dum moment to discover what lay beyond the wall. Okay. So let's see now here. So now they have to have a plan. Let's see here. They'd planned for days. After they were put down for their naps, let's get the word counter out of the way. They'd planned for days. After they were put down for their naps, they would climb down from their, let's put them into, actually, I'm going to have them on the floor. That just makes things easier. So put down for their naps oops, let's get the comma out of there. Come on, comma, go away. There we go. On their favorite, and going for the Canadian U, which spell check doesn't like because it's operating in US English, for their naps on their favorite blankets. They would wait until they would wit. Okay, let's go back and change that. Wait until their parent had gone around the corner, gone down the it's just, give me 1 second here, had gone, it's just insisting on being capitalized, aren't you? Okay, had gone around, here we go, the corner that seemed to lay at the end of the mysterious hallway. Okay, they planned for days. After they were put down for their naps and their favorite blankets, they would wait until their parent had gone around the corner that seemed to lay around the end, at the end of the mysterious hallway. The first snag in the plan came when, okay, so this was going to be, I'm going to scroll here. Timmy is going to go over the wall. When Tommy said, or indicated, because he's not going to say, he's not speaking yet, indicated that he wanted to be the one to scale the wall. Timmy, who'd dreamed dreams of what might lay beyond the hallway, didn't agree. And that disagreement led to noise from the room that's supposed to be quiet, from their room, which brought the parent back up to check in. Alas, today wasn't to, wouldn't be the day that the great answer of what lay beyond the hallway would be found. Okay, so let's recap what we've got here. I'm just going to scroll, and he continues to say that after he has started scrolling, so I apologize to anyone who is scroll sensitive. So Timmy and Tommy stared out from behind the white plastic wall with convenient eye holes down the carpeted hallway beyond. They'd done this for as long as they could remember. But today was going to be the day that Timmy would go on his first adventure, his quest to discover what lay beyond the wall. They'd planned for days. After they were put down for their naps on their favorite blankets, they would wait until their parent had gone around the corner that seemed to lay at the end of the mysterious hallway. The first snag in the plan came when Tommy indicated that he wanted to be the one to scale the wall. Timmy, who dreamed dreams of what might lay behind the hallway, didn't agree, and that disagreement led to noise from their room, which brought their parent back up to check in. Alas, today wouldn't be the day that the great answer of what lay behind the hallway would be found. And there we go. That is just our real quick, easy story. It is a little bit on the long side. Actually, no, that word count. See, I keep a word counter right here at the bottom. Let's see if it will go the. Yep, I keep the word counter right there in case I want to measure the length of my story, and I just forgot that I've got all sorts of stuff that's also written on here. So I'm not sure how long this story is, but I don't think it's too bad. 150 words. Nice and short. And again, if I like the story and I want to work with it further, I can certainly go back and edit it at a later time. But with this, I think this is just sort of a great place to stop the story. We've got an idea that's down. And now let's take a minute and maybe do an illustration that will help to bring out some points that we've got in the story. So to do that, I am going to change my screen, and I forgot to have this up, ready to go. Whoops, here we go, screen size. I use Procreate. It's super complicated, and I use basically none of the tools. So, and that is okay. Alrighty, so what I want to do is to basically just highlight that wall and then the hallway beyond. So now I said that the wall is white. Now my background is white. So I'm going to, I'll change up the color of the wall that I make as a, cool, Alicia says she's got her story written. That's excellent. So what we're going to do is just accentuate that hallway, and I'm going to go to my, come on. Oh, come on. Don't be, let's see now here. The one thing that I did not check, and of course is the one thing that we have to wait on. So I'm just going to take a second here. Like I said, going live, and one piece of tech I failed to check was my Apple Pencil. Anyways, I hope things are going well so far. So actually, while we're waiting for the Apple Pencil to light up, I'm just going to take a second here to stretch and let the Apple Pencil do its thing. So I'm just going to flex my fingers, and I'm going to come up and stretch out the back a little bit. And nice big shoulder stretch, arm stretch. And I'm going to do a breath in and hold and out. And I think just with that little bit, 9% is enough for me. And I will make sure I'm charged next time. Okay, here we go. My favorite color, this brown. I just always reach for it. So we're going to have this hallway that's going to extend sort of from the bottom of the page, and it's going to, actually it doesn't do that, does it? No, it's going to go the other way. So perspective, sir, is going to be sort of like that. And let's see now here. Let's have, I'm going to just to give the idea of like some texture, I'm just going to do this. I am completely self-taught drawing, by the way, and so if you notice that my drawing skills do not equal my writing skills, you will be absolutely correct, and I will not be embarrassed nor insulted if you notice, because that is okay too. So I'm just going to go this way now as well, and we're going to have some texture. So this is the carpet, and let's see now here. There we go. Okay, and let's see. So we've got walls, and so let's see now here. We're going to have what do we have on the wall? We're going to have maybe, I think maybe the easiest thing to do is to have like sort of some black baseboard type of things, just to give a little bit of definition. And let's see now here, let's bring this back down a little bit, and let's see now here, I'll come back to my favorite brown, and we'll have a door that's a bit further up, and maybe a door on the other side, further up. Okay, and now the grand reveal of that that fencing, that gate, the baby gate. Let's see now here. I don't want it to be too big. So okay, so this is all they're going to be able to see. So let's see now here. We're going to have sort of the baby gate come across like this, and I can just draw right over top. And actually I'm going to go 100%, and I'm just going to draw back over. I could probably have a much thicker pencil for this, but that's all good. And okay, we'll just draw on the definitions of the baby gate, and now we're going to have the convenient eye holes. And here we go. Now we can go this way, and there we go. Okay, so we've got our wall, we've got our gate, we've got the hallway. I think this is just sort of this is just a quick little thing, and for me, the illustration is just supposed to sort of accompany the story, so you get sort of the illustration is not necessarily supposed to stand alone. The story is. So I think I'm happy with where this is right here. So I'm just going to set up my pencil to be charged. There we go, 10%. And let's just sort of, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to come back to the room. Okay. So how was that for you? How was that for you? I'm just going to take a second here, see if anyone types anything into the chat to give an indication that their story went well, not so well, they're happy with it, not so happy with it, if they have any questions. And then we'll move on to the next bit. Okay. So I have to remember that there is a lag of about 15 seconds, and that's even before you can even start typing into the chat. So I'm just going to sit here for another few seconds, and I'm not seeing anything coming in just yet. Okay, good. So I'm going to move on. If something pops into the chat, I have no problem going back. So we're going to come back to another breathe and stretch. Okay, and Alicia says she's good. So excellent. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, and thank you, Celeste, for letting me know as well. Okay, so let's take another opportunity to breathe. So I'm just going to breathe in and out. And this time with my stretch, I'm gonna bring an elbow across. And I'm gonna come the other way, elbow across. And I'm gonna stretch this way and up and back. This one's feeling really good today. And okay. Okay, so now that we have breathed and stretched, let's move on. And the topic of the day today is, what is it today? Haiku. Haiku. So, real brief introduction to what haiku is and why I've picked it and what we're going to be trying to get from it. So haiku is a Japanese poetry art form. Excuse me. And if I'm remembering correctly, it got introduced I was introduced to it very early on in my elementary, middle school days. And because of the form of haiku, which is, it's a 3-line poem, and the first line has 5 syllables, and the second 7 syllables, and the third and final is 5 syllables. I think it was more of a can you count syllables than anything else. And quick aside, a syllable, in case you are not familiar, it's the little sounds that you can break down inside of a word. So syllable is 3 syllables within the word syllable. Rush is 1, because it's just one little sound bite. Willing, will-ing is 2. Okay, so that's the basic idea. And it's not a fixed number, so keep in mind, depending on how you pronounce a word, can determine the number of syllables that are in it. So for instance, holistically, if you pronounce it holistically, that's 4. If you pronounce it holistically, 5. So there is no set number. Okay, so back to haiku. So when I was introduced to it, it was presented as a very elementary poetry art form to try and just get an idea down onto the page. It turns out haiku, and actually no surprise because this is Japanese creative writing, the idea behind haiku is to use very, very informative, imaginative language in order to get an idea or a concept across. You really want to capture like a moment. So I am going to, actually I'm going to bring up the Let's Begin screen to get my iPad to the place where I want it to be. And then I will go into screen share. Here we go. Okay. So as I said, haiku is a Japanese poetry form. 3 lines, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. And so let's just kind of go through what could technically be a haiku. And so this haiku is called Cat Food Shopping. I went to the store. I bought hamburger patties. It cost me $10. Technically a haiku because it fits the 575, but it doesn't really evoke anything, doesn't really tell me anything. This is just a sort of a, like, it tells me a thing. It doesn't show me anything. So I'm going to scroll. And here I remembered to say I'm going to scroll before I was going to scrolling. Haiku are much more. They are the capturing of a brief moment using imagery, imaginary, or language that captures your imagination, captures your senses, gets you really immersed into a scene. So how about this for a better haiku? So again, I'm going to title it Cat Food Shopping. Shopping carts fly past. Where's the organic kibble? Aisle 95? So this is a better haiku. What ideas do you get from it? It sounds like I'm in sort of like one of those warehouse shopping places that are huge. What does it tell you about me? Why am I looking for organic kibble over something else without even the name of the poem that's there? You would know that I'm looking for some sort of pet food. You know that I'm shopping. So this tells you more. It's not a great haiku, but it is certainly better than the one that was there before. Okay. So let's scroll again. So I pulled a few famous haiku, and I grabbed this from readsy.com. And I think these are just absolutely fantastic. So this gives you an idea as to what you should be shooting for in the art form if you do choose to write haiku. So in this one, A Poppy Blooms by Katsushika Hokusai. So I write, erase, rewrite, erase again, and then a poppy blooms. This is evocative of like what we do as writers, right? And you're trying to have something bloom, and how you're relating the writing to the blossoming of a flower, and in particular a poppy. And another one, O Snail by Kobayashi Isa. O snail, climb Mount Fuji, but slowly, slowly. Right, so this is more advice on life. Have big dreams, but take it one step at a time. It's very reminiscent of the, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Another one, In the Moonlight by Yosabusan. In pale moonlight, the wistaria's scent comes from far away. And this is just to evoke just the feeling of being like in a garden situation or something, or just out, and you can just get that faint little tingle of wisteria coming to your nose in the early evening. And let's see if we have any more here. Nope. So I've got one that I have written. Actually, I'll go ahead and bring this up now. I'm just going to pause for a second. The drawingXpressions on YouTube haiku, a creative space, holistically supportive. Please like, share, subscribe. Multi-purpose, this one. Okay, let's move on from that. So with a haiku, one more thing I should mention. If you go to Readsy, I think the article or the blog that I pulled from, it's got 40 very well-known haiku. And not all of them were written by Japanese poets. So like we're not getting you're not, the 575 syllable count does not simply break down because it is translated from the Japanese. Haiku, as you move into the world of haiku, the 575 actually breaks down and you don't need it quite so much. You don't necessarily need just 3 lines. Real masters of the craft, they deliberately break those rules. And it's all for the giant purpose of really showing and getting you to feel what it is they want to convey. So let's pick a scene that we can convey. So the scene that I'm going to reach for, and I know it quite well because it happens every morning here, is the time that I spend in the garden space with my lovely lady love, Alicia. And we have our first coffee. And so we've gotten up, we've done sort of the quick chores, the cats have been fed, so they're settled. And we're just sort of quiet and there, and things are just sort of fresh and waiting for the day to start. So that's the feeling I want to convey. So how would I do this? So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start from my sense of self and then expand outward. And so let's see here. So when I sit, what do I feel? What do I see? What do I smell? The thing that I notice first is the sound of the fountain. So I'm going to have water gurgles. Let's see now. Water gurgles. Let's see now here. And I'm going to have something about water gurgles. I'm going to have something about the scene of beyond what I'm hearing, what I see. So actually, I'm gonna leave water gurgles. There's more that can be put in there because that's 3 syllables. And love sits across from me. Love sits across from me. I'll leave it at 6. Plant. Let's see in here, and then there's like usually like a breeze, whether from our fans or something like that. So let's see in here. So breezes kiss her cheek. Breezes kiss her cheek. Okay, so I've got 5 in there. Water gurgles happily. Love sits across from me. I'll leave it, love sits across from me. So that's 6. I'm going to leave it at 6. I can go in and edit it later. So, water gurgles happily. And technically, that's 6. So if you total them up, 17. But it's just 6 and 6 and 5. It's not 5 and 7 and 5. That's okay. Water gurgles happily. Love sits across from me. Breezes kiss her cheek. And I'm going to leave it there. I think that has nicely encapsulated the morning feeling each morning. And then caffeine and whatnot help me to become more awake and aware. But at least in these first moments, we have this. So yeah, so with that, that's where I'm going to leave my haiku. And so I'm just going to set this aside, and I'm going to come back to the room. So how did you do with your haiku? Is that something you were working on? Did you find it difficult? Did you find it easy? It's actually, and I'm going to sort of throw my little spin on it, it is deceptively difficult because you have to you're using so few words in order to evoke such large feelings, large emotions, large setting. And that's why there are such masters of haiku that are out there. And I am not one of them. But we can always practice, and we can always aspire, and we can always write and write and write. And we find the ones that we like, and we keep and we hold on to, and we build up from there. Okay. So with that, I'm going to bring us back to the breathe and stretch screen. So I'm going to breathe in and hold and out. Good. And I'm going to just rotate my shoulders. There's a haiku that has come in, and Celeste has said that she's going to play with her haiku later, which is awesome and excellent. Glad to hear that I've inspired you to play with your haiku. And I'm going to read Alicia's out loud because it's just absolutely lovely. Green vines relaxing, infused satiated sponges. Rain has done its job. Wow, does that set a setting? Well done. I love it. Well done. Okay, so that pretty well covers everything that I wanted to cover today in terms of lessonings and whatnot. So I'm just going to wrap with a couple of things and then say, thank you so much. So keep in mind that with drawing expressions, there are I read it wrong. Gosh darn it, I read it wrong. Okay, Alicia's haiku, I'm going to reread it because I got it wrong. Here we go. Green veins relaxing, infused satiated sponges. Rain has done its job. Veins. Okay. All right, so drawing expressions. 3 ways you can enjoy the content that we're putting out. 1, YouTube. You're here. Hello. We have at current something on the order between, like, it's 25 videos I think that are currently published, and more are coming every week, and it's free to watch. So please, take your lessons as they're put out. We have Jed Doré, Helen LP, Helen Lee Pard, Joan Martin, all fantastic artists, all masters in the craft in which they operate. Please enjoy watching their videos. Dr. Max's videos, who is focused on art empowerment. He leads you through more of like self-revelations and those aha moments that you need to make your life better. Planting your garden of desires and ideals, or the monsters that lie within us, or whatever. As you're working through these things, and there's more and more that are coming out, you can reach for those. It's sort of therapy, but not. It's not therapy. It's art empowerment to make your life better. And of course, we have the tangles and the mindful line. Well, the mindful line I think is coming onto YouTube from Alicia, who is a master artist in and of herself, aside from being our CEO and grand poobah, and my wife, which is so. You have those. These are all on YouTube. If you want early access to the YouTube videos and much more content, that's on Patreon. Pay what you think is fair and affordable. And even if it's as little as $1, you can subscribe in. And the same thing goes for going live. And it's Jed, Joan, and Helen that teach on live. And again, pay what you feel is fair and affordable, even if that's only $1. Please sign up for our newsletter. That's news.drawingXpressions.com. That will take you to our newsletter, so you can sign up there. So that's the ways you can enjoy DX. Thank you so much to my moderators for such great moderating. I will see you in 2 weeks, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much.